Hi everybody, I'm Shinoda Bolen, and I'm an advocate for a United Nations sponsored 5th Women's World Conference. The last one was in Beijing in 1995, and it brought 40,000 women together, and it made a difference. But that was in the 20th century. We're now in the 21st century. This is now a time when the internet and all kinds of technical abilities exist so that a conference held somewhere in the world could actually be broadcast and have interactive elements to any other place in the world. So a UN-sponsored 5th World Conference is important because then all 192 member states are officially involved. It means that the women from all of the member states know that this is a conference that has something to do with them, and it would and could be such a goal. It takes about 3 years minimum once the UN says they will go ahead and do it for it to happen. And in those 3 years, so much could be linked up with websites and phone messages and Skypes and all the kinds of tools we now have. If we want to get a critical mass of women to affect this patriarchal world so that there's a balance between how men think and do things and how women feel and do things. Women with our much more long-term views, our less conflictual attitudes about how to change things, our concern for the children. What's missing in the picture right now, in this time of major crisis in which we are at a time of tip, what happens to the planet and humanity could get very much better or very much worse in the next, what, decade, 2 decades? And here we are, beneficiaries of the women's movement, able to connect with each other, able to communicate through the internet to make this world a different place. And so I see a UN 5th Women's World Conference as being a rallying point, as not a goal and end-all in itself, but the energetic center for women all over the world to raise their consciousness, to be connected with each other, and to learn and to make a difference, just the way we in the United States did in the late 60s and 70s. In less than a decade, we changed the world for women just by meeting in groups, consciousness-raising groups. Now's the time for women's circles to do the same thing and to be the third wave of the women's movement, and that is a wave to bring peace to the world. And that's why I'm an advocate for a 5th Women's World Conference. The technical parts, information about it can be found on the website 5wcw.org. Thank you. Untapped source of peace. The only real hope is to draw upon the collective wisdom of women, those with a direct experience of the cost of war, the life of child, grandchild, sibling, spouse, the loss of limb or mind of someone near and dear, the loss of laughter, the pervasiveness of fear, the loss of hope for the future. Untapped source of peace, those who have known domestic violence, seen the effect of bullying on sons, seen daughters become silent, seen light go out in their eyes, those who know that when every child matters, when none are hungry, abused, or discounted, that the world will become a kinder place for us all. Untapped source of peace, women with empathy, who live in a world apart, are safe, loved, and fortunate, yet can imagine being hopeless, beaten, and raped, then forced to bear a child conceived in violence. Women who know in their hearts that what happens to any woman anywhere can happen to them. Untapped source of peace, women who see loved ones filled with vengeance and hate, hypervigilant, fear-ridden, or afraid to sleep because of the nightmares. Husbands, brothers, sons, and now daughters home from wars, bearing little resemblance to who they could have been in a peaceful world. Untapped source of peace, women in circles, women connecting, women together, bringing the sacred feminine, maternal instinct, sister archetype, mother power into the world.